I've been taking myself a little bit too seriously. Let's see if I like this VTuber thing. So I've been busy both offline and on my main character, but we did get up through all the level 3 skills that we had queued up. So let's go find the career agents nearest to us. I believe they should be in agents and missions. Career agents. Federal Naval Academy. So that's that destination. And undock. And this game is beautiful. Oh, that's right, I don't have my altered layout set up yet. I have default everything. And my audio is going to be a little bit different. I recently got a new computer, and I'm still figuring out the best setup for recording things. This microphone, the quality isn't as good, but it's attached to my headphones, so it's a lot easier for me to have it at the right position. You can hear me hopefully a little bit more clearly. I realized that I talk very quickly and very softly, and kind of working on changing that as much as I can. Oh, and yeah, there is, when you first start out, you get this rookie help channel. You can find some pretty decent information and ask questions in here. In general, people seem pretty good. Of course, you'll get people who are just not nice, but for the most part, people are nice in there. Oh, and also, if you use a referral code on a new account, you can get 1,000,000 free skill points, which will speed up this whole process by a substantial amount. I do have a link for my referral code in the description of the videos, or you can use the one from a friend, a corp member, or other content creator that you follow that has a referral link. Now, they don't mention this in the tutorial, but there is a little autopilot button down here. It's generally recommended that you don't use this because it will not warp you directly on top of things. So you'll have to travel a little bit to like dock or go to a warp gate. And what that usually means is someone will blow you up if you're not paying attention. It does have its uses. We'll get there eventually. Okay. So the first agent I generally recommend from my testing is the Enforcer, just so you can get some decent ships for the rest of them. Azier Parsi, cash flow for Capsuleers. Sure, I've got something. Corelli thugs are harassing miners in a nearby asteroid belt. Let's clean up the area. Make sure to keep your target within your weapon's range, and try not to give them a stationary target. It's generally good. It's really easy because of how everything's set up to just not really pay attention to what they're saying, but it is generally a good idea to read all the mission descriptions. Every once in a while there is some important information, and then click undock. It should automatically add that to your opportunities, and then warp to site. And this will just warp you to the missile location, the mission location, not the missile location. And we have the complementary first. Singular enemy. I'm gonna turn on Afterburner and lock on. You always have to lock things before you use anything on it. It's a little odd at first. You get used to it. Now we can start shooting. Orbit set to 1,000, and we're gonna run into the rock. And through the rock. This is one of those times where you can tell it's kind of an older game. Alrighty. Go to the next one. And then I'll go through and grab the little bit of loot that's in them. Honestly, as you get further into the game, the loot isn't as good on these kind of frigates and destroyers and whatnot, but I still do it. Gets you a little bit extra isk. Pew, pew, pew. And that's it. And then you'll get this dock command. Let's go loot this one wreck here. And then we'll dock up and finish this mission. There we go. Yeah, nothing great. Alrighty, let's dock. And you can click over here, or over here, to talk to the mission agent. And then we can complete that mission. Excellent work, Sovereign Nadir. I'll have the miners return to work. See me when you're ready for your next assignment. Then you can automatically go to request mission. Here's a mission suited for someone of your caliber. The Serpentists have kidnapped one of the miners and are demanding a hostage swap. They want the one responsible for their comrades' deaths, and apparently they have no idea that you are a trained Capsuleer. Go teach them a permanent lesson. Eliminate the pirates and rescue the civilian miner they are holding as captive. The civilian will be transferred into your cargo hold once you have destroyed the pirates. And stuff like that is very good to know, because otherwise you might be looking for a container and not realize that they're just going to put it into your hold when you're done. Let's accept this and close. And actually, let's do something that I forgot to do before I headed off last time. Let's go into character sheet, home station, select home station, and then where it says current station, I'm going to set it here. And that way, if we do get blown up, we'll just end up back here, since this is where a lot of stuff is going to end up being deposited. So we got some antimatter charges and a Gatling rail. We go down to this circular icon for fitting. Since we're doing the Enforcer route, we don't need the miner right now. I'm going to pull that off and put on the Gatling railgun. Then I'm going to throw the charges into the vehicle. Remove the metal scraps just to clear it up. And if you drag into the center, it'll just fill up whatever needs that ammunition. So now we have a better weapon. Let's go undock and complete this one. Warp to site. Let's select one and orbit. Now they don't tell you specifically, but the charges they gave me for this were the antimatter charges, which are great at short range. They do the most damage of the hybrid charges, but the lowest range. I generally try not to use them until I have to for these beginner missions. The civilian Gatling does not have ammunition needs. To burner, make this a little bit faster. Now time for the pews. Select the next one, lock it, orbit. I'm also going to lock this other one, and then click on this one again to select it. And as you can see, the Gatling gun will basically just delete people. At least these small frigates. The range isn't great, but the damage is amazing. When it hits. And next. And then if you right click and select reload all, they'll start the reloading cycle, which isn't too important right now, but when you're in the middle of combat and like combat sites and stuff, or definitely with PvP, you want to make sure that's as full as possible in between engagements. And we can start firing, lock on to the next one. And you can split your guns. This one can fire at the other one, like so. And that's it for that. Let's reload and go clean up. Especially early on, I find that pulling things like the ammunition out of these racks is kind of valuable. It'll save you a little bit of money. And you can see there's this orange line here on my ship. The civilians were just deposited once we finished. Let me grab that. Grab this. And go grab this. And these jammers, I've actually not used these very often. Medium power. Let me see if I can put that on a Corvette. I don't know how effective they are against NPCs, honestly. Yes, there's a bunch of different types of jammers. This one disrupts target locks. And it's within range, it's not like something you have to target specifically. This module requires large amounts of capacitor energy to operate. So we'll see. We'll go into the fittings, see how unstable it is, and start conversation. When complete, and we'll get an Atron, which I don't know if we're going to use immediately. Good work. The miner's family will be pleased. I'll notify them immediately. Okay, and request the next one. Something just came up that's right up your alley. The miners are happy, but now the station owners are not. A Serpentis pirate has stolen some sensitive documents from them, and I'm tasked with quietly resolving the matter. I'm entrusting you with this. Get those documents back for me. Destroy the runner drone to receive the secret documents, and then report back. And they give us 2 more of these Gatling railguns if we want them. Which, honestly, yeah. Alright, so let me close this. Now we can go into the ship hangar and see what's going on with this Atron. So this one has bonuses for the small hybrid turrets, a reduction in propulsion jamming systems. So I think we actually will hop over board to the Atron. It's best to give your ships a unique name. Yeah. Gonna stick to basic ones. This is just so that when you show up in scans and stuff, it's not immediately obvious what ship you're using. And the Atron looks pretty cool. Alrighty, so now this, we can pull, right click on it, go to strip fitting, and that will remove all the modules, and then drag everything into the item hanger. And now this, I don't have much. Just for ease, I'm going to put the civilian things back into that as a container, so that we can re-equip them if we go back to that. These free civilian things you can't really sell, or at least not easily that I've found, so they're kind of something you just trash. And now let's go into fitting. And it's going to obnoxiously block everything. Yeah. So now we have 3 guns. And put this in the mid slot. So we have 2 minutes with that. I'm going to throw plutonium in that one. And then antimatter in the rest. And throw that in there. And now we are ready to undock. And if for whatever reason it doesn't come into the opportunities, if you go and talk to the agent, these little 3 dots where it says more, you can click track to make that your opportunity you're tracking. Some of the Galente ships I don't care for. I think the Atron's one, but I'm kind of meh about it. Alright, so the runner drone is what we're actually after. So let's just go straight for that. As you'll see, with the plutonium charges, this is slightly more range Oh, interesting. I guess because we're in green safety, I actually can't use that. Let's quickly destroy this, because I think these ships can kill you if you kind of hang out here too long. Then let's dock immediately and not deal with the rest of them. Because I'm pretty sure they can warp scram you. And there's a catalyst destroyer, which could hurt quite a bit. So let's get out of here. Sometimes with these missions, it's best to just do what you have to do and get back as soon as possible. Now start conversation. And complete. And we'll get a bunch of money. I read your ship's encounter analysis as you were docking. Not your fault someone escaped, soldier. I'll fill you in shortly. Alrighty. And now let's quickly do some, light inventory. Just because we've been getting a bunch of stuff. So in the Air Career program, you'll see we get a bunch of ISK. There's a rewards bundle there. You can click Claim All. Close that. And then go down to this little box for redeeming items. I have a bunch of stuff from just the login rewards that you get to start with. It's important to note things like this accelerator. Yeah, I believe this is automatically activated as soon as you redeem it. There are some things you can leave in the queue if you want. I find that kind of irritating. Just as a general, yeah, this item will be directly applied to your character. But anything that has this symbol, where you redeem it doesn't actually matter, and it will be activated immediately. For stuff like the skins, this starship will just be a crate. So I'm going to redeem everything. And it'll ask 5 items moved to the hangar, skill points directly injected, and then this is all going to be directly applied. Wish to proceed? Yes. And now frigate class starship. We can open that. This is just a Galente frigate called an Incursus. And this is a skin for that for 180 days. This is a skill book for destroyers. And then a catalyst, which is the destroyer we saw earlier. We'll just open all that. Now we got social. I do not wish to speak with anyone right now. Redeem social, and that will end up in your inventory. Now we have biology. This will affect booster duration, which would have been good to know and to inject that sooner, but we will train that to level 1. Social. This will give you more action standing increases. I'm just gonna put these at the top. Switch skill training, yes. And this one, I'm going to train now. That one, I don't have the skills pre-trained. Alright. So, going into Spaceship Command. You go down to where it is, Galente Destroyer, show info. Requirements, I need Galente Frigate 3. So, let's add that in. Here it is, Galente Frigate. I'm just going to throw that at the top. And I'm going to add the last level I can train to the bottom here. And now you can put Galente Destroyer right underneath that one. And I'm going to just train these all because I know that I'm specializing in Galente. So I'm going to need them. Actually, at this point, I think the Galente skills I'll put before the Magic 14. So now that's going to train in the background. It's going to take a little while. We did get a couple new ships. Catalyst is a destroyer, has the small hybrid bonuses. Catalyst, if we can go into simulate ship, they are very cheap. Something just came up that's right up your alley. I suspect we'll get a chance before long to hunt down this pirate who escaped. Meanwhile, I've located an illegal Stargate, hidden by the interference from a large dead space field, and I want you to scout the area. Accept. Yeah. This is one of those instances where it didn't automatically track the mission for some reason. Go down there, track, and it'll pop up. Undock, minimize that, and warp to site. I wonder... So your safety is automatically put at green, which will prevent you from accidentally hitting anyone. Partial safety... Oh, interesting. You have to be in red safety. Ah, interesting. Aura, my sensors have found nothing in the area other than the stone Stargate, partially hidden inside a cluster of rock formations. I would advise you to proceed with care. Smuggler gates such as these are rarely left undefended. Your agent instructed you to approach the Stargate. Be ready to retreat should the need arise. Continue. Alright, so where is... There it is. Smuggler Stargate. Let's approach. And now I'm going to select the Academy so that I can click and warp very quickly. Yeah, so I can't actually even go into red safety to use this. We'll just put it on green for now. Green is safest until you know what you're doing. Bing. Now, when the dock command comes up, get out of there. Because they release toxic fumes that will do a lot of damage very quickly. Let's see what local's doing. Yeah, sometimes missions will have information local. The mission has been completed. Report back to your agent. So let's start conversation. And we'll get a regular afterburner now. Complete. Sorry about the cloud damage to your ship. You might try fitting the afterburner I gave you. They're very useful when you need to get out of a dangerous area quickly. First, let's request the next mission. Sure, I've got something. After you left the area, our cleanup crew found a message from the pirate, Wolf. He wants to meet you in person, with no backup, at a small repair outpost in this system. Be careful. You don't have to kill the man. But he's assassinated people I've known, so his death wouldn't be any great loss. I'll provide you with a civilian thermal shield hardener. It will improve your shield resistance against thermal damage, which is one of the damage types Serpentis vessels dish out. Galente technology usually revolves around armor repair, but this should see you through for now. Meet up with the pirate at the repair outpost, follow his instructions, and then report back to your agent. We will accept. We'll be given that. So now let's go into fitting and open up our hangar. Item hangar. Now we have both an afterburner and that thermal shield. We'll take this off since we can't use it. Put on the afterburner and the thermal shield hardener. So now, shield hardeners you have to activate for them to take effect. Because we're cap stable, you can pretty much always have everything on, which is very nice, makes things easier. And we have unclaimed rewards, which is just more ISK. We can close that and redeem them. Cool, we're over 1 million ISK. Alrighty, let's undock. And to minimize that, ignore the Vexer freaking out. Now, because we're staying in the system, if we activate the shield hardener, it will just stay on until we jump gate or duck. Anzar Pujamont. It's good to see you, Privateer. I have a message from Wolf which he asked be delivered to you. You have gone through a pretty hazardous ordeal, having to fight against our new recruits and brave one of our traps. We certainly give you credit for getting through it all in one piece. You have guts, and that's exactly the type of pilot we're looking for. Yes, you guessed it. We're here in the heart of the Glente Federation, but we always keep an eye out for possible additions to our fleet. You Federate pilots are just so much better trained than most of the scum we have back home. So I give you this proposition. Visit our agents to join our cause, and earn wealth beyond your wildest dreams. The stuck-up corporations here in Federation space have nothing to offer you that we can't double or even triple. They hoard their ISK like rats, and the poor sods they hire to do their dirty work only get the scraps, dropped through dozens of layers of bureaucracy. You're worth more than that. Join us to be rid of the greed and backstabbing of capitalism, to find a purpose to your life, and a goal to achieve alongside the rest of our mighty host. You have many days to consider our proposal, but first you must complete another test. When you are ready, attack our fleet. And if you leave this place with your life, then we will know that you are ready for what is ahead. Cool. Let's take him out. Afterburner on. Yeah, so I find this kind of interesting. The pirates basically try and recruit you. And the Serpentis is one pirate faction that you can't currently join. So it's kind of pointless. You can certainly be a pirate. That is something I wish to explore eventually, but right now, let's just take him out. I think because of the afterburner, we're having trouble hitting. Because our turrets can't track him well enough. Yeah, so using speed, you can actually dodge a lot of hits. Like this guy's doing right now, where he's also orbiting us and moving quickly. And because the turrets are trying to track everything and aim correctly, it becomes an issue. We're getting him slowly. Yeah, so he's almost down through armor to structure, and we still have half our shield left. And your shield is the most powerful at like the 30 to 40% range, where it'll recharge slightly quicker than if it's lower or higher than that. We may wish to train our hybrid turret skills a little bit more. Nicely done. Perhaps we'll meet some other day. For now, I will be making my way back to base in my capsule. So then you can just let him disappear. You have completed the objectives of the mission. You can return back to your agent now. And complete. I cannot believe the nerve of that criminal. Alright, this has gone on too long. Request. I have just the thing you want. We managed to track Wolf to a small pirate outpost in this system. It's time to finish this. Destroy the outpost, and hopefully Wolf will perish along with it. I'm going to accept. And this is an implant. I'll go over that once we actually get it. For now, that's on dock. Go blow some stuff up. Minimize, warp to site. Yeah. Reload all the antimatter ones that we have. Once we run out of the plutonium, we'll just put antimatter on that too. Alright, this brought us to an acceleration gate. So basically, what these do is they act like mini warp gates. And they are the developer's way of restricting who can enter certain areas easily. Combat sites will usually have these. If you try and like make a bookmark inside a combat site, it'll just bring you to the acceleration gate, so you can't circumvent the restriction. Trust me, I have tried. Alrighty. Intruders, don't let them get away. Looks like the next acceleration gate is guarded. You have to take care of the guards before you can get through. Technically no, but we're gonna do it anyway. For the mission, you might have to. Usually you can just run to the acceleration gate if you really want to. Try and use up these plutonium charges first. Okay, that's taking too long. Yeah, I think we're having the problem of the afterburner is just too fast. Like, they can't track us, but we can't track them either. I wonder if I just stop. We'll then actually be able to hit this person. Yeah, there we go. It's not great to be stopped. Generally, it's better to just kind of move all the time, but when tracking becomes an issue like this, gotta do what you gotta do. And now you can press Control and click. Is the easiest way to get that done. And now we can group all of our weapons. Make our life a little bit easier. Yeah, so if you click this button, if you see it, they'll just group all the weapons that have the same ammo type into one button. Just a quality of life feature. Okay. Let's head towards... Actually, let's loot this one since we're right here. You have to be within 2,500 meters to loot something. And now we can take the acceleration gate. Minimize this. Reload. Yeah, and you see on local they have little messages that more pirate ships warped in. And this is his outpost. Looks like you found the pirate outpost. Your instructions were to destroy it. I would recommend leaving the loot in the wreck after you obliterate the structure. You would not want to be caught trying to jump between systems with contraband in your cargo hold. The local security forces do not look kindly upon such activity. Yeah, so usually you can just loot pretty much anything that you blow up. But because this is the tutorial it's teaching you, don't generally just loot other people's wrecks and stuff like that. You can, but you will get a security status, which might become an issue. Oh, and then we get these people. I am honestly just going to sit here and destroy this first to make my life a little bit easier. And then we'll take out the defenses. The pirate base has deployed sentry guns. Yeah, but we're doing so much damage that we might as well just eat through, otherwise the shield will recharge all the way. Lock on to these. And orbit. And fire. Loot this very quickly. That looks awesome with high graphic settings. Go attack the sentry guns. Which we definitely don't have to. At this point we can just dock, but I don't know. I enjoy finishing up. I am deciding that this is not worth the ammo. Go dock. We may end up needing to buy more charges at some point soon. I saw in the notification feed that we completed one of our daily goals. I will go over that once we dock. Start conversation. Complete mission. You show great promise, my friend. Well done. Now let's go over a couple things. First, we can just claim these. Next, in opportunities, you get a bunch of daily goals. And as you get them, you get, if you do a certain number in the span of a month, you can get decent skill point and ISK rewards for doing them. So let's claim that. That's 500,000. And they're generally things that you kind of do throughout your day anyway. But if you get 2 done per day, it counts towards one of these notches. So generally try and get 2 done. But, well, I'll see how far we get. I'm not too worried about it on this alpha account. Next thing, limited ocular filter. Show info. This gives you the bonus to the perception skill. We still have the starter gift thing. Implants you plug into your clone, but if you die you lose them. So I generally recommend while you're doing these career agent missions and getting a hold on things, just keep your implants in storage until you know you're not going to die like immediately. Now claim all this in the air career program and redeem. And this gave us an armor repair. Let us redeem all of this. Now at this point, I think I'm actually going to pull all this out of here. We can strip fitting. And board this Incursus, since we can now take advantage of the armor repairer. Keep the same name to make life easier. And now I'm just going to repackage the Atron. If you have rigs in your fitting, if you have anything in these rig slots, you can't repackage it without losing them. So that is something to keep in mind. If you click this button, it'll stack anything that can be stacked. And now let's add our guns, ammunition, throw the extra in there. Afterburner, we can keep this on. And repair systems. We don't have the skill for that, but we might get it. So we can activate and apply this skin. And that will last for 180 days. Alright. Something just came up that's right up your alley. After Wolf escaped your attack, he retaliated by commandeering a Federation Navy ship, manning it with his own crew, and starting a campaign of terror in the constellation. I want you to head out there and kill them all. Moreover, I can provide you with a small armor repairer if you're willing to take this on. It should help you against any damage thrown your way by Wolf and his allies' ships. We got another small armor repairer. So I think in this case we are going to have to repair systems, view market details. Yep, we have enough now. We can buy that. Let's train that. That'll take 15 minutes, but that's okay. Probably not going to need that immediately. While we're here, let's see. What was it? Shield operation? That's social, not shields. There we go. Now that we have some ISK, let's buy that as well. And this one, we go in, not train now, but inject skill. And then add it, and we can insert that. We can do that after the destroyers, I guess. Start. Just kind of sprinkle these in. And then put these right before the 5s. Okay. That's all sorted. We can, even though we haven't trained it, we can add it. And then we can just put it online when we have that skill trained up. Alrighty. Let us undock. Oh, it is not tracking for some reason. So hit track. Now undock and let's go. This is one or more modules on your ship is offline. This may be due to you not having the skill requirements, and that's okay. Minimize. Warp to site. The Incursus actually looks kind of cool. I think I like it better than the Atron. In terms of aesthetics, it just doesn't hold up very well. Well, look at what the cat dragged in. Come to avenge these pathetic facilities Pathetic civilians we butchered. I'd like to see you try. There's the scoundrel that destroyed our base. Get them alive if possible. I'd like to have a word with them in person. Alrighty. You have chosen death. We can regroup these again. And now we're in range. Pirate ships have decloaked in the vicinity. This has turned into a major battle. Okay, and I'm just gonna lock on to you. So once we're done here, we can just hop over to the next one and take these out. This is a bit closer to what an actual combat site ends up looking like. Just a bunch of enemies that you're slowly taking down. And now our shield's holding pretty well. If we need to, we can always click here and dock, and then come back out and finish the mission. I did that when I was first starting out. Quite often actually, just to try to not lose ships. You are going to lose ships, but try to prevent it as much as possible. Oh my gosh, this one is driving me insane. Die, please! So the spies have quite a bit of health. And that is the shield warning. Yeah, I think we're going to try and take this last ship out. And then go and dock. Yeah, because they're starting to hit into our armor now. And once we get the armor repair online, in 8 minutes, this won't be as much of an issue. Okay, now that we're in here, you right click, get repair quote. It'll cost 185 ISK. That is probably not necessary at the moment, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I believe as well that the Incursus is able to hold a single drone. So I'm going to buy one of those off the regional market. Depending on which faction you start as depends on which drones are generally the most available. You want to go into drones, and then combat drones. Light scout drones are the first level. For Serpentis, I know hobgoblins are the best if you're Kaldari Hornet, and I'm not sure. I think Warrior Minmatar and Acolytes OMR, but I might be completely wrong on that too. Anyway, hold on. Let us sort by price, and then we can buy a single drone, and then move that drone from there to our drone bay. And that'll just give us a little friend. And confirm on docking. Now minimize that, and you'll get the drone window. So warp back to site. Reload all these, turn on the shield hardener, and just pick up where we left off. Oops, I did not want to lock this. Might lock that. Oh, I don't have light drone. I forget how many skills you need when you first start out. Okay. I'll have to put that into our queue in a minute. Once we're done here, we are not hitting these targets very well. We're getting there. It's taking a while. Once we actually hit something, it goes down pretty quickly. Definitely gonna have to look at skills or turrets in a little bit. Yeah, we are missing a lot. I had forgotten how inaccurate things are before you start getting all the skills trained. I wonder if we just approach instead of orbit. It looks like we're actually considered done with this mission, but I would rather finish these people off. Kinda waiting on this to finish training anyway. Yeah, get into our armor again. That is alright. I know because it's telling us to dock, that would be the last enemy. Alright, let me reload all those. Go pick up loot. Okay. And a lot of loot like this, I'm probably not going to end up using that. But you can always sell stuff too. Or recycle it into minerals. Not many, but it adds up after a while. Loot this. That is Omega locked. That is a warp disruption field generator. Anything that you can only use if Omega has that golden outline. Alrighty. Now let us go dock. And I'm not going to bother repairing. We're about to have our module online, and then we can just use that to repair. Alright, complete. He escaped again, eh? Well, fine work against his compatriots at any rate. Before we accept the next mission, let's look at... Thank you. Go into here, show info. Requirements. Light drone operation. I imagine this is available in station. Yeah. Let's buy that. And now let's train this immediately. Switch skill training, yes. So now in 15 minutes we'll have access to that drone. Oh. Request mission. Here's a mission suited for someone of your caliber. Some envoys have asked for safe passage. They're afraid of Wolf and they want a good pilot to pick them up and deliver them safely. You're it. Fly to the hotel your agent mentioned and retrieve the VIPs. If something is amiss, then report back to your agent with details. Don't shoot everything up. It's basically what it's saying there. We are here to go pick up some people. And we received 2 overdrive injector systems. Increases engine power at the expense of cargo capacity. I do not believe I wish to use those, because the Incursus is already quite fast. Now all of these I'm going to dump into here. And now I'm going to get charges for my gun. Let me close up drones. Go to ammunition. Hybrid charges are the ones that Galente use, I know. I'm not certain about the others. I think most use hybrid charges to start. Go into standard charges. Small. And I usually prefer the iron charges. So iron charges have the longest range. Antimatter charges have the lowest range. And I just go on both ends of that spectrum. I'm sure there's very particular uses where other ones are better or other ones just might be better overall. But these are the 2 I end up using the most. So let's get 2,000 of these. Let's actually make that 4,000, just to save ourselves some time. And they're not too expensive. And then we can throw these in there. Go into our fitting. Put that online. That is telling us about the light drone operation. Okay. Let's undock. Hit warp to site. Turn on the armor repairer for a minute. Just until that gets back up to 100% armor. There we go. Turn that off, turn this on. Switch these to iron charges. And now our range is 14 kilometers, which makes it a little bit safer for us. Won't be able to do as much damage, but that's okay. I detect no life signs within the habitation module, and the communication services and the adjacent security towers seem to be down. I suggest approaching the La Fleur Inn to have a better look. Its hull appears to be damaged. A cloud of radioactive gas is flowing through the cracks and filling the void surrounding the structure. The corpses floating around the inn are most likely of the people who were ejected through the airlock. Make sure you have large collidable structures selected in the overview settings. You can easily find the structure. So if this doesn't show up, you can go into all, click on it, go back to your general overview settings, and then click add to overview. Or you can just go into all when you need to find something that's not showing up. Or in this case, just find it, click it. It's a trap, a smart bomb. I'm gonna hit dock immediately. Sent out a blast wave that has damaged your ship. You should leave this area immediately. Yep, I am on the way. Pirate ships have appeared from the shadows. Yeah, so smart bombs are really nasty. Basically, they just are mines in space. If you go near them, they go boom, and they can cause quite a bit of damage. And complete mission. You found only corpses? Oh, this will not sit well with their employers. Not at all. Damn. Language. Next mission. I have just the thing you want. We've come across a narcotics ring that we suspect is helping fund Wolf's operations. Make your way to the warehouse and destroy it. Sovereign Nadir. Be ready for a fight too. And then we'll get a stasis whip of fire. So accept. And close. Undock. And warp to site. Turn on the shield hardener. Then we have some enemies and an acceleration gate. We don't have to kill the enemies. We can just take the acceleration gate. I think we're gonna try and do. You don't really get like experience or anything for dealing with these frigates especially. Sometimes it's not worth the ammo to shoot at them. Especially if they're not going to attack. Yeah, they're just watching. They might show up at the next site, but I will accept the risk. There's the warehouse. These are the rookies. Now this one is in range already because we have the iron charges now. There we go. Yeah, so we can just take these out from range. Let's lock on to these and go start collecting from the wrecks. As soon as they're in range, we can start shooting at them. Take charges. Grab this one. You are in range now. Now you're in range. And finally you. There we got some more. And it is a totally valid strategy to just kind of wait for the ships to get in range. Like just hang out, let them approach you. I'm just a little impatient. I actually really like how these iron charges are. I wonder if they have better tracking abilities than the antimatter charges do. They don't do as much damage, but I feel like they're much more reliable. And now that we've looted everything, let's approach this and take it down. Actually, we can just stop. We don't have to orbit or anything. Alright. Giant explosion. Now this expanded. I wonder if they want you to wait and view this before you dock back up. Oh, It's not giving us the button, but we can just go dock back up. Oh, now it's showing up. And sometimes quests especially will just have a bit of lag to them, depending on what the server's doing at the moment. Start conversation. Excellent work. Those criminals were funding all sorts of illegal activities. Request mission. Something's just came up that's right up your alley. We've got him this time. Follow these coordinates to catch Wolf once and for all. Note that he'll be heavily guarded by his cohorts. If your shields and armor are depleted and you're close to taking hull damage, warp out immediately. You can either dock at a nearby station and pay its repair shop to fix your ship, or you can use an armor repair module while in space. Find Wolf and take him out once and for all. They give us another incursus, but we got that one from the daily rewards. And we can now use our drones, which is nice. Alright. And now you don't have to put this stasis webifier on, but I'm going to do that. Also, let me move all this out to make space. Hit stack all to combine. Go into fittings. And I can add the stasis webifier. And what these webifiers do is basically reduce the movement speed. So ships like the scouts that I was having trouble hitting before, if you use the webifier on them, your turrets can track them a little bit better. And also it stops ships from getting away from you quite as easily. So we clicked set destination, and this is 3 jumps. Just let us undock. And now you can either jump through here, or you can click on it and jump. And next gate. You spend quite a bit of time, from my experience, just jumping between systems. Can be a little time consuming sometimes, but there's like gameplay in between all the systems in the form of both PvP and stuff you can find. Alright, now warp to site. And it's another acceleration gate. So we'll use this. I'm going to turn on the shield hardener. Now there are a bunch of enemies. Yeah, so let us deploy our drone. Then start locking onto things. Our drones are going after that, so we can shoot with the drone, help it out. Okay, now the spies. And for the most part, you can just have the drones do what they do. You can also press F or hit the little engage target to tell them exactly which target to go after. It looks like our drone's cleaning up pretty well. Alrighty, our drone's taking care of that last person, so we can just loot. I do a lot of looting. You really don't have to. It's probably not worth your time in the long run. I just do it especially early on, when you're just starting a character. Any little bit extra money you get can be incredibly helpful. Oh, that is a light drone. That is the Acolyte drone. Before you warp or take an acceleration gate, remember to return your drones to your drone bay. You're going to forget drones at first. You're going to leave them all over the place and then you can't find them. They're not too expensive, but yeah, that's definitely something I struggled with at first. It does give you a warning before you jump, where it says stop and recall drones down here, but if you're not paying attention, it's not gonna catch your, you're not gonna be quick enough to click on it. That actually looks really cool. Yep, got some more enemies. I'm gonna Shift F, bring the drone out. And then let's go fight some enemies. The web of fire is 10 kilometers, so we can activate that if we wish. It's not really necessary at this moment in time. Okay, let me loot these, lock on to the new enemies. Oh, our drone, something attacked us, so our drone's going after it. Ooh, tags are actually good to get. They sell for a lot, because you can turn them in for faction standings. Which, don't worry about that when you first start, but just know that that's pretty valuable. At least in terms of early game loot. We can loot this one. Yeah, and the little bits of credits you get is all the pirates have a little bit of bounty on them. So when you defeat them, you end up getting a bounty payout after a certain amount of time. But we got a couple more enemies. Okay, stack all just to make that cleaner. You can move windows around wherever you want. Gonna run this up. Now Shift R to return the drones. Go loot this and then take the gate. Oh, we got more of our iron charges. That is good. I should probably reload all at this point. I'm going to make that pretty. And Wolf has a stasis tower. I have located your target in this area. He is not in fact inside the stolen Navy ship. I detect his life signs inside the stasis web of fire tower attached to this outpost. It is currently causing a major slowdown in our velocity. Yeah. So I'm going to throw my drone out. Lock all of these, and they are dampening my sensors at the moment. I can start heading towards them. My drone's already doing its thing. Yeah, drones for these early missions are really good. And in general, drones are just good in general. Very effective for how much they cost. Stolen Navy ship. Okay. Now it's just in curses like we have. It's generally not ideal to kind of like split your damage like this, but it was working out this time. Let me take that, loot all, and now let's approach the stasis tower. Press F to have our drone attack that. Now we can start firing at it as well. I believe once we get into its range, it will slow our max velocity down. But because we have the extra range, we didn't really have to worry about this too much. Wolf has ejected in a capsule from the stasis tower moments before its destruction. Yeah, so now we have to take out his capsule. And I will just let my drone take care of Wolf. Yeah, I'll help it out. So for normal humans that aren't Capsuleers, when you're in your capsule and your capsule gets destroyed, you are dead. You're also dead as a Capsuleer, but you can just have a clone take over. Alrighty. Shift R. Bring all the drones back. Set destination. And I'm actually going to show you how autopilot works. I do not recommend autopilot. Anytime you use autopilot, assume you're going to lose the ship you're in. But just for this demonstration, I will show you exactly what it does. Reload charges. Yeah, so it'll warp you to between 9 and 10 kilometers away from the gate. And then I'll have to approach the gate before it can warp. And that doesn't seem like a big deal right now. But this is when people can easily lock down your ship and destroy you. It's nice for being lazy, but it does have its consequences. And they designed it like that, because otherwise everyone would just use autopilot and you'd never actually get hit at gates. And stargates are where you tend to get hit the most from my experience. We have gotten a bunch of rewards. We can claim all these while autopilot does its thing. Connections, we're not going to do that until we dock. Yeah, and for this ship, because it has a really nice max speed, it doesn't take that long. When you're in something like this Badger here, that's a freighter, it's a lot slower, and there's a lot more chance for someone to intercept and take you down. Trust me, I have experienced this, and some people will just kill you for the sake of killing you because you're using autopilot, because some people are just like that. They see you as like someone who's more or less botting or not paying attention, and they want to punish you for that. As silly as it sounds. Oh yeah, see, they're just in a capsule, so they can't do anything to us. But this is someone who has a security standing below -5, which means they're a criminal. So we can attack them freely, but there's also a decent chance if they were in a ship, they would be shooting us down. Which is probably how they have such a low security standing. Yeah, and when you warp, autopilot warps you to a station, it'll do the same thing, 9 to 10 kilometers away. Alright, let's start conversation. Complete mission. The Federation is grateful for your service, Sovereign Nadir. Thanks to your combat expertise, we've got one less scumbag pirate boss to worry about. If you would like to further your career in enforcement, there are agents hiring across the cluster. I've heard the Sisters of Eve are looking for capable pilots. Check out the Bloodstained Stars, which is a epic storyline mission, for more information. If you'd rather broaden your skill set instead, you could start a conversation with any of the other career agents in this station. Thanks again for everything, and good luck out there. Yeah, so that's going to be what you should do after the career agent missions. We're not going to worry about that right now. But yeah, that is the Enforcer, career blah blah blah. That is the Enforcer career branch. Which is basically just go shoot some NPCs. Nothing too groundbreaking. Let us redeem everything. Oh, I'm not going to redeem this yet, because this is another one that goes right in. This is an expert system, and these let you try out ships that you usually can't fly if you don't have the skills for them yet. So I'm just going to, you can select all, control click, then I will take everything else, and then close this. Nope, that is not where I wanted to go. I want to go into here, connections. I need to have social 3. So let me inject that. That will be in, I want to say trade, nope. So if you can't find a skill, you can just type. There we go. We need social 3 for that. Let's add that and connections, which is right here. And we'll add that at the bottom. So social gives you the bonus to your faction standings for missions and whatnot. This connections just increases your standing with friendly NPC corps and factions, like just across the board. So it's good to have. So while we're here, armor, I believe we're good on repair systems. Yeah, so this is for the repair module we have. I'm just gonna put all that into the queue. Once again, we can move that up as we need to. Go into here. Motion prediction. Improved ability at hitting moving targets. So this is something we definitely are going to want. Rapid firing. 4% bonus to weapon turret rate of fire. That's good. Sharpshooter. Bonus to optimal range. Let's add that. Gunnery. This increases the rate of fire. And then reduce the capacitor need of turrets. Small hybrid turrets. This will give you bonus damage. And I'm moving those all down to the bottom for now. Surgical strike. This just increases damage of all turret weapons. Trajectory analysis. A bonus to the accuracy fall off. So when there is the optimal and like a fall off range, so that'll increase the fall off range a little bit. Those are the ones that we have skill books for. So that's all I'm going to worry about adding. Now we have 142 days of training. Some things can be moved up. I would say probably most things could be moved above the level 5 skills. So let's actually do that. Because getting to level 5 on things is usually just ridiculous in terms of time. Like 9 days, 19 days. So let's just move everything up. Motion prediction. Rapid firing. Sharpshooter. Control bursts. And small hybrid turrets. I'm actually going to move the small hybrid turrets up further. Just because we're going to use that quite a bit. As a Galente. Surgical strike. Up. And then trajectory analysis. Can move up. And now because we know we're going to be using these specifically, I'm going to move these above the magic 14. Yeah, so the magic 14 skills are just kind of there when you don't know what else to train. If you have other stuff that you know you're going to need, it's better just to do that that is going to be all for now. Next time, we're going to go into the Soldier of Fortune career agent path. Let me move all these into the item hanger. Yeah, and then we'll do Soldier of Fortune next, and then probably Explorer, and then we'll finish with the 2 Industrialist ones. So, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I will see you later. Stay radiant.